Hey folks, Green Stuff Gav here. This week we're going to do some more painting. We did an unboxing recently from Hasslefree Miniatures, which included one of their fantasy humans, Seren at Delyth. And thought, yeah, we'd paint her up. Now, I haven't seen Brave. If I can get that to focus. Now I've sped the footage up so you guys don't see any of the to try and just get away from a 40-minute video. I start with just a series of wet brushing on the base because it's all textured into flagstone. You can get away with just wet brushing gradual layers of grey over the top. That works quite well. By doing it while the previous layer is still wet, you get a real subtle blend to it. Same can be said for the little shrubs on the base. They're just basic colours because it's all well and good to go into these big intricate bases, but they're here to support the paint job, not to detract from the miniature itself. So just adding a bit of texture and a bit of colour, really. Again, this is a series of wet brushing, so that gives you a nice level of, almost looks like highlighting. While we got the green out, we're going to stick some blue in there because the official art for Merida is sometimes blue, sometimes green, so we're going for a turquoise effect here just to go right in the middle, as well as it's just a really nice colour. So just picking out all of the major sort of points, all the dress, mainly because, like I say, we had the green already out, so it kind of makes sense. I know for wet palettes you don't have to worry too much, but I'm very traditional when it comes to my painting. Now, while that dries, I'm going to start with the skin tones. Again, this is all about blocking out colour, just to see what colours go where and how it look, sort of give an idea of what the end paint scheme would look like. Because sometimes you'll come along and think, well, actually, yeah, there's too much skin, or too much. There's not enough colour variations. Now, with an existing character like this, we're quite stuck with our colour choices, but at least we can sort of see what the end effect will look like. And you see we're going back and highlighting the base because I tend to sort of work colour by colour, so while that's drying, I go and do something else. So, for example, while the bark's drying, I'm going to add a touch more green to the foliage a bit, just to help it pop a touch. And again, we're mixing the colours here just to go slightly lighter than the previous layer. And you see we're not painting all the way into the recesses, because with the translucent, how translucent the paint is, that'll give us our highlighting across the whole miniature rather than just on the edges. And again, we're adding more blue, going back just to, it's not quite wet blending because the paint's drying, but it's adding extra pigment, just give you that extra sort of level of light. You can see here the difference it makes going over the top. And And we're going to go straight up to pure blue for the edges. Because that gives it that slight greenish look. And we're going back, do some more skin tone work. Similar method, we're using the original base colour and then add in a lighter skin tone to it. Taking time around the face, because you don't want to go into the eye sockets, because that'll give you some natural shading. And then we're going on to the pure highlight colour, because that'll give us our bit of depth to the colour. Now I've got a red and a brown, because while she's got bright ginger hair in the promotional work, and presumably the film, is we want to start slightly darker. So we're starting with a red with a touch of brown instead of yellow to give that darker ginger effect, and then we'll work it up. It's just getting it all the base colour on there. Tidy, thankfully, where the paint's still wet on the palette, we can tidy up where we mess up. Here we go, we're going straight onto orange. Now this is a wet brush, so very similar to dry brushing, but with plenty of paint on, and that'll give us the original colour right in the depths. Then let us work it up to a nice ginger. Again, taking some time to be careful around where the other colours are. And we're just going to pick the eyes out now, just to... So while we've still got the colours out, we can tidy up where we mess up. Going to slap some gold about just to break the colours up. I know in traditional animation you don't use metallic. Obviously, they don't use metallics, but on such like a primary colours, like all of the blues and the reds, just using gold instead of silver really helps just accentuate the colours. We can use some brown just on like the straps. They would have worked with a black and then a dark brown edge highlight, but I wanted to stick some more colour on there just to break up the miniature a bit. See, we're picking out things like the arrows. Yeah, just using some of the dark brown to shade the inside the eyes. Not quite like mascara, but it adds some darkness around the eyeballs, helps the eyes themselves stand out. And while we've got the brown, we're going to stick some highlights about. And tidy up the skin where we've been painting eyeballs. Obviously the face is a focal point of any miniature, so you want to make sure you get the face right. And we're highlighting a lot of people just stick metals on, but you've got to remember that metals are colours as well, so you can go and highlight, whether you use a brighter gold or you could go for a silver, a light silver. Just some edge highlighting on the black bits, using a grey. Yeah, bit of a contrast on the arrowheads, the quivers. Yeah, that's Meredith done. Yeah, quite a straightforward paint job, really enjoyable to paint. I really recommend the Hasslefree miniatures. They're just a joy to paint. Thanks for watching, and as always, have fun.